This is AS Chemistry, Chapter 1, Atomic Structure, Lesson 1, Atoms and Isotopes. Atoms are made from three types of particles. As we can see from the diagram, the center is the nucleus, which contains protons and neutrons. Around the nucleus, we have electron shells, which contains electrons, and the electrons orbit around the nucleus. The nucleus is very dense. It contains protons and neutrons, protons being positively charged, neutrons having no charge. The electrons being negatively charged orbit around it, and they have a negative charge and a very, very small mass. The electrons orbit around in electron shells, and at GCSE you will have learnt the model 2882. As you go further into this topic, you will learn that there is a new way of writing the electron arrangement, but we'll use this basic model at the very, very start to explain the principle of atoms and how isotopes work and the properties of isotopes. So we'll start with the properties of the particles, which are protons, neutrons and electrons. And in this table we have the exact mass of a proton, the exact mass of a neutron and the exact mass of an electron. As we can see, the electron is very, very small compared to the proton and the neutron. The charge of a proton is 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19, and the units are coulomb. The neutron, having no charge, sits in the nucleus, and the electron has the opposite charge to the proton. Exactly the same charge, but just with a different sign. It's a negative sign this time. You don't have to learn these numbers for the exam, but it's useful to have an idea of what the actual mass of the proton, neutron, electron is. And this data will be provided for you in the examination if you need to use it. When we compare the mass and the charge, we can get some numbers called the relative mass and the relative charge. This is a table that you've probably seen more at GCSE, and it compares the proton, neutron and electron and their masses and their charge. We can see that the mass of the proton is 1, the mass of the neutron is 1, and the mass of the electron is very, very small. And we quote it as a fraction, 1 over 1836. The relative charge of a proton is +1, the neutron is 0, and the electron is -1. Moving on, the atomic number is also known as the number of protons. And you can either call it the atomic number or you can call it the number of protons. And it's the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. The number of protons also tells you what element you have. The atomic number, or the number of protons, is given the symbol Z, and it's the smaller of the two numbers on the periodic table. We can see four pictures, one of sodium, one of iron, one of tin and one of fluorine. Sodium has 11 protons and therefore has an atomic number of 11. Iron has an atomic number of 26, tin has an atomic number of 50 and fluorine has an atomic number of 9. If the atomic number changes, the element also changes. So be careful when you are writing the atomic number and ensure you copy it off accurately from the periodic table. Here is another example. This is carbon and the atomic number is the bottom number, which is 6.